coming together, and all these teams have their drop spots that they love to drop, they love to kind of land in, right? And when you have different teams from different metas that might like to land in the same area, are they going to do that? Are they going to fight over this early game compound compared to, let's say, waiting for late game?
Yeah, they're going to try and keep that in focus, but this plane is very central. So already the map is extremely small for Sunhawk. You can drop basically anywhere. So if you have a favorite spot, you can just drop to it pretty easily. And I'm seeing a few of the teams seeming to go for boot camp, but I think they saw a lot of teams towards boot camp. So maybe want to avoid an early game fight because once again, PUBG, that's what you're trying to see in terms of playstyle. Avoid early game skirmishes, get to the late game, and you should be good to go.
So of course, Sunhawk is a smaller map, so generally the circle is always going to be somewhat central. What is very interesting for me, Maxon, is that you only have one team on the east side of the circle, and that is Pittsburgh Knights, PK.
Yeah, they just don't want to fight whatsoever. They're just taking their time. So you're talking about Pittsburgh. I'm going to be checking out Quest F. They went right for boot camp. We talked about Quest F as this beast of a team that are really dominant and really confident in this tournament. And they're going for boot camp, one of the most aggressive early game stages of Sunhawk map. So I'm expecting a little bit of an early skirmish coming out from this team because there were two teams dropping there. I didn't see the second team. I know that there will be early clashes, and that's what you see a lot of the time, even in an esport tournament for Sunhawk, is just there are not that many drop locations to share.
You're dead right, as we do see top esports. Sorry, not top esports. There are two teams with top. Yeah. I know, two top teams. They have a really good spot on the far west side. The reason why I say it's a good spot is because what we could see some of these teams doing that are on the edge of the circle is that with a lot of teams dropping west that they would have seen when they got out of the plane, they would have been communicating, look around them, is that you could see a couple of these teams waiting until the blue zone kind of closes in on phase one, and they'll actually go into the circle through the blue zone. So they'll be able to essentially avoid a lot of the action. Yeah,
just get really good positioning for the next stage. That's good. But yeah, as I said, there were two teams dropping on boot camp, and that was also Team Kurt Squad coming to you live from Middle East. And
no, they're coming live from Berlin.
They come over from the Middle East area. And Quest F actually going to be leaving boot camp over. They didn't have the central building. That's a really important location in boot camp. If you have that, you have the high ground. Everyone knows how important that location is. So if you don't have it, just let it go to another position, and you should be just able to get a little bit more farm and trying to get yourself pretty well looted for the mid-stage game.
Oh man, Team Queso, they've gone out of where they were. They were going up against the side of TeamIND, one of the Indian teams, one of the two Indian teams. And when I was talking to Team Queso, Max Van, one of the things that they highlighted to me that they were very proud of is that not only are they representing the South American region, not only are they representing themselves and Queso, they feel that they are representing also the whole of Spanish communities, Latin America, because they're the only Spanish speaking team here, and they take that on their hearts. They hold it high and they're ready to perform here.
And you're talking about them representing all the Spanish players, because mobile gaming in Spain and for Spanish community is so important. But also one extra thing is normally we had two European teams, and now we do not have that. We only have the Formula Meditari 99. So they are also having a lot on their shoulders today, as they have to represent all of Europe in this tournament to try and make it into the top 5 teams to go over. As we have an early game clash happening between Team Secret and Top. And Top going to be having AKM down for the time being with an AKM. How bad does that feel? And he's going to get flushed away and nicely done. Team Secret getting the first kill right now.
That's a good start. It's only been less than 5 minutes, and we've already seen one kill. See, and that's the thing. Overall, what we expect is that we're seeing somewhat passive gameplay. We're seeing these teams just doing what they need to do themselves, while still getting on through into the next phase. And one thing that we just saw All Rejection Gaming do, it's a little thing, but it can make a difference, is when you're going over the bridge, you have two teams go on the bridge, two players go on the bridge, two players go underneath the bridge. It means that if they do happen to get caught out from anywhere on any bridge, they have a safety net. It's a little thing, but when they implement it on the small moments, when it comes to the bigger moments, it's going to pay off.
Yeah, when you have those split moments, it can work out. You see, it didn't happen with Top. They had one that was split, got taken out away. So then you have 3 members this early on in the game, especially on Sanhok. That is going to come and bite you right back where I'm thinking of in the next stage. So they've got to be very cautious. As right now, be careful. Nova Monster Shield. Bixia is going to be shot down in the distance with the M16 by Paraboy. And might be in a bad spot, but it seems like XQuest F, they really can't do much. So that's going to be 1 regen instantly. They do not have the high ground. They can't really push up against Nova Monster Shield, so they're just going to be winning a little bit more time. They did use utility there. That's completely fine. I understand. Just especially if you saw on the kill board, that is XQuest F. You want to put everything to try and avoid fighting them this early on, because once again, if I was playing, I would just avoid them. I would do research on that team, see where they drop, and avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, of course. But then again, you got to play your own game. And one thing that, even though a lot of teams are going to be playing for late game, they're going to be just playing the rotational game. One thing that we need to mention is you've got that mental ability, and you've got that kind of you want to pull off some form of a aura on your side, that if you do go up against a team, that you're not going to be the ones to back off, that you are going to fight against them. And if you give control over another team, you might actually be in a better chance of winning it. But if you give control over to that team mentally, there's a higher chance they're going to come out on top, because they feel more confident going into that situation.
Yeah, mental pressure is so important in a game like PUBG, so you've got to try and definitely take that into account. We're going to see now Purple Mood on the move. They're going to have multiple cars. Thank you so much. We were watching we casted the wild card once again. Weird flex, but okay. So many teams died by having 4 members in one car. The car blows up or drives in a tree, which happens a lot of the time for me and Imperium in our games. But and it just feels nice. You know, you're expecting that this level of play. You just split your cars.
It's something I've kind of realized. I don't think there's a more a sadder way of dying than in a car.
Especially
to be honest,
in a LAN event. Like, you turn back, you're like, what did you just do?
Yeah. Now, we talk about Wildcard region and the fact that we casted, again, another weird flex, RG Star Team. We've seen the journey they've pulled through in the group stage and the semi-final. They were definitely one of the top teams. But in regionals, they did start off a little bit weaker. They didn't have the strongest of starts. And when they did come out in second, it kind of surprised us, because it came out of nowhere in game 2 of the regionals.
Yeah, it was day and night Imperium, because we saw once again the early stages not doing too well, not getting out of the pack. But after that, they were just pulling 1v4 clutches, taking chicken dinners, and the Chinese meta was really showing up at that point, and just that's why they're here. They deserve it.
You talk about chicken dinners. They're actually the team with the most chicken dinners out of all teams here. They got 3 chicken dinners in their regional finals. It's going to come down to consistency, and they don't have the strongest. They had near enough the strongest when it comes to points consistency in the regional final games, but not the absolute strongest. So there's no point in getting all of the chicken dinners if every game in between you're coming in 16th, 15th, and 14th, and so on.
I think we're talking a lot about RG because we've got a soft spot for RG because we followed their adventure. So we're going to try and move a little bit away as we do move over to Top Esports. So Top Esports, they come to you live from China. Then we got also Team Top that comes to you live from Korea. So this is TES, Top Esports, just for you guys' information at home. And they're just going to be prone on the top of the mountain. Once again, high ground, so important on Sanhok. You want to try and set yourself up in these locations ASAP, which you are doing pretty easily. And Team Secret, they got a kill earlier, once again on the move. Like, you're expecting that, once again, as I said, really passive early game. What you can expect in the early game is dad jokes from me and Imperium, and late game, just us just screaming our heads out when there's more fights.
Of course. Hey, it's what we've come to know and love out of our own casting. But either way, we personally have an overview of the map and the circle and where these teams are. There's a cluster of teams in the center, so they are really fighting for the center zone based on hopefully that it's going to be somewhat of a boot camp finish. You do see, as far as I know, it's Kurd squad are in boot camp on their own, and then you have a lot of teams around them.
Yeah, got a lot of teams. One team just seems like they're in a really good spot is XQuest F. Like, they got legit 5 teams around them, and they are getting surrounded. Next circle is going to be very determined. If it's on the side and they have to shift, a lot of teams are going to die early on. If it's focused on boot camp, you have a lot of teams already there. One thing that I really see actually on the China... Oh, be careful, AWM on the roof. I mean, if you can get it, go for it. But there are tricks to get on the roof pretty easily. I forgot my thought. Goddamn.
It's okay.
Feels bad, man.
Sorry, man. So we do see Circle Phase 2. It's gone a little bit down towards the east, southeast side of the map. What that is going to do is that I feel that is going to drive a few of these teams down toward the south side. Top Esports are looking in a decent position. They are holding the dead center. Team Queso, we know that they love to hold the edge of the circle. They always rotate towards the edge of the circle. They want to play super safe and just have a good vision of the teams around them.
That's the same kind of playstyle for Team Secret. They always play edge of the circle. That's what we saw when we were doing our VOD reviews. And it's going to be interesting to see these clash of different metas. And I was about to say, I got my thought back. There are so many teams coming to you live from like Asia in general, and Asia meta is very focused on getting the center of the circle as soon as possible, so you don't have to shift too much on the next circle. And one thing, you have so many Asian teams. That's why you have a big cluster of teams in the dead center. All the Chinese teams are in the center almost, with a bunch of Indian teams. So that's going to be really interesting to see how this is going to work out on the long game. But still, no extra kills. As I say that, AM Lock is going to be put down on the side of RG starting, going to be losing 2 members and not looking too good right now. And they're going to be clashing.
It wasn't Outsider, it was Lucifer that couldn't make it. My humble apologies. Sorry, Outsider is here. As you do see, Outsider did get a return knockdown. So hopefully we can get a bit of an idea of how that engagement is going for these two teams. But it seems like it's been a somewhat of an even trade for now.
Well, we did lose 3 extra players. We were at 59, now we're down at 56. That's not looking good. We cast a curse Imperium. We were talking so well about RG Star Team that now, unfortunately, they're not really going up to the level of play we were expecting. But let's hope that they can try and come back from that misadventure. And there's still, like, maybe a compound breach will be coming soon from Nova Monster Shield. And they are an official, like, Nova eSport team, just so you guys know.
One thing, though, the reason why Nova can't push onto a compound is because they're just not close enough right now. We see TeamIND. The positive for them is that they are all in that one building, but the negative is all it's going to take is 1 or 2 nades being thrown in through the windows, and they are going to be heavily exposed, are going to have to reposition super quickly. So if they recognize that, if Nova Monster Shield can get any more of an intel that they are inside that one building, I would be not surprised if the nades come flying and we see some form of a mini red zone, so to speak.
Yeah, we saw also like a proper angle there. So as you mentioned, like Nova Monster Shield, they're a little bit too split. They can't really like charge him right now, and you can see that all the members in that house, they have like 4 angles of fire. So literally, almost nobody can breach it unless, once again, a good cook grenade can make the work and shut them down. We are now just 30 minutes. I was going to say 30 minutes into the game. Phase 2, circle still closing up. And just still not too much going on, which is really nice to see because this is also Sandhawk. So a really passive early game on Sandhawk, that is not too common.
Not too bad indeed. So ultimately, they did lose Outsider, so he is down for the rest of this team. But hopefully, he'll be still providing that live support, live buff support to the rest of his team. We see Azute, as I said, had joined the team as Lucifer couldn't make it for this event. So hopefully with him still being alive with the rest of other 2 members, that they'll be able to really pull out something strong as we are going to get into this next phase in the next minute or so.
Next phase coming up. And also, just so you guys know, we are actually in the 3rd-person view. So one really good thing about like compound protection is you do not have to give your location away. Just put yourself a little bit shifted against that window. They don't have to spot you. They have no information. And if they go in like not knowing there's a team there, you can actually get the surprise factor, and that is so important in PUBG. So 3rd person, when you're defending a compound, is so good, as the next shift is going to be on Paradise Resort. And now we're going to see some blood.
Oh man, I'm dancing in my seat right now, Max, and I love that because we saw most of the teams were in the south side of that circle.
Like, oh no.
The huge shift north, they're going to have to go through boot camp. They're going to have to go into Paradise Resort. We are going to start to see these teams clash together. And you do mention TPP. Snaking is going to become a big part of the late stage moments of the game. You're going to see those final players, those final teams look to implement that 3rd-person advantage as RG and Omenly are coming closer together, but Team Top and Team Secret also getting close together.
Yeah, they're going to have to be careful though. The circle is closing up, but now, as we said just a few seconds after, it's starting to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Purple Meat going to be clashing back and forth with Top Esports. but he does not quite have the angle. They did get a knockdown on Fireboy. He is in the compound. He's going to get region back up. He is good for the time being. It seemed like Purple Mood, they don't want to pick that fight. They were in the open. If they get 3-man partied, that is the end of them. So just playing it really safe, I can respect that.
And all the while, we are seeing XQF starting to light up the kill feed right now, taking out a couple of members of Kurd squad. But yeah, Fireboy did manage to get revived. And that's really important, because if you can stay together as a 4-man squad for as long as possible, getting that revive is going to put you in a much stronger position going into the later parts of the game, going into phase 4, phase 5, Maxman.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and keep that in mind. Checking out a little bit what's going on.
Oh, is he going to come from behind?
Nah, seems like we're just chill. Oh, be careful, Xiaotian and AK. They are just prone. You just talked about snaking.
Yep.
It seems like Zute,
he has no
might
idea.
have the information. He knows what's going on. He's just like, am I going to take the risk? Do I know his RG star team? Do I know how many members there are? Can I pull off the 1v2 clutch? But he doesn't even know there are 2 members. Like, so you're going to have to be very careful. He does have the info. That's going to be a grenade. Ow. Oh!
Great job, Knev and Zute. You call him the Snake Whisperer. That's what I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him the Snake Whisperer, as they are. And here's the thing, because Xiao Tian is separated from his team, and you can't risk running across, that kill is most likely going to be secured. And it's going to put RG down to 1 player, but we've seen it happen from RG. We've seen them pull out 1v4 clutch.
And that is also just an NA team, Team Omen Esports, prior known as Lights Out, playing really aggressive, looking for the kills, looking for opportunities, so they can flex that kill count. Also, Xiaotan, he has the information, he knows where he's prone at, and just Omen Esports not getting too aggressive, which they do go for the kills when they can get some, but they're not playing
they're on the edge of the circle. Yeah. They're in circles, so they don't have to move, and that's the same as Xiao Tian. He doesn't have to move. He does not have to move at all, but Team Secret, they are coming together against the Formia.
They are trying to rush back up. They have the information, playing it pretty safe on this rush. They have the info, going to try and overwhelm him with shit power. That's going to be Matic shut down with the AKM. That's once again Team Secret doing pretty well. But in the distance, War for Rio is going to be getting 2 nice angles. And that's going to be Team Secret also having a little bit of trouble securing
this
look
fight.
At this. So look at him.
He's going in. He's joining that teammate. He's looking to get that flush. That second knockdown came through. They're going to be possibly able to get that squad right. That's going to be Team Secret taken out early on.
Maybe not. No, he's still got 1 member. He's prone down. He has information. Does flush it away. But there it is. That's going to be the end of a Team Secret, losing the last member. First kill and first team out of the prelims.
East Asian team knocked out early on. We talked about them being strong, but the Formia, this European team, not afraid, as this next phase came up and it went deep south. So that's actually going to help a lot of these teams a lot more, that did come up from the south.
We're moving away from Paradise Resort, so now the number of compounds is going to be reduced again and again and again, making things a little bit more complicated for all of these teams as you have to try and focus back in. And Xiaotan, Lone Wolf, is just going to be trying to make his way back to maybe a good zone in the next circle, so he can actually try and avoid fights, because at that point, just don't pick the fights. Aim for positioning points that are going to be way more important for RG Star Team, as we do have a few shots fired by Team IND. Once again, playing in India in their own little cozy studio and shooting up to XQuest.
Oh boy!
But, not really connecting too much.
I've got to say, he's using that tree to the best of his ability. We know how protective it can be, but it's also a small area, so when you peek from a tree, you do kind of slightly expose yourself a little bit more. But J7 from Pittsburgh Knights, they secure 1 kill. I've seen them. We saw in the VOD review. They're not afraid to frag out, so they're starting their kill feed in this game 1.
They are trying to get this started, boys and girls, as we're going to have a PLM. And once again, the Knights going to be trying to face up against each other in this compound. There's no really reason to fight it out. Just stay prone. If any team's trying to come forward to the compound, defend it, but there's no reason to rush and use that utility this early on, because utility, grenades, smokes are going to be so important for the last circles. You want to try and keep it up as long as possible, as we're going to have 1 team out, and that's going to be Team IND in 14th position. That's going to be very unfortunate for them. So Team Tigers, last Indian team left on Sanhok.
Yeah, 13 teams, 40 players live. Pittsburgh Knights, they occupy the compound. The grenade is going to come in over from Norway and from Purple Mood Esports, but it's only 2 members of Purple Mood. The Molotov came out, the return grenade came out, but didn't quite connect. So I think Pittsburgh Knights, they are in a really good position. They are a little bit spread, but they are looking very strong.
All rejection gaming again rejected by Nova Monster Shield, and I don't know, that was a really, like, I was not expecting that kind of rush. Like, you do not have the information, you only open, the circle is getting pretty close together, so you're going to have some teams a little bit scattered around, so you do not want to do these kind of moves, or you want to stay prone and try and like, play it sneaky as possible. Just like a Nova Monster Shield, that's what they're doing, but the circle is going to go up against Guanma, and he might get shut down by it.
A counter knockdown did come out from the side of All Rejection Gaming, so we do see Nova Monster Shield are down to 2 players, with one being put down, as that's going to be All Rejection Candy Zed coming out. It's just going to be Nova Monster Shield being wiped out.
He wants it, he's looking for the kill, looking for the blood, and here it is, gets the extra shutdown on AA from Nova Monster Shield, and that's it. Like, the snake, take the snake, you'll have the high ground. Even if you do not have any kind of protection, he didn't have a tree, didn't have a rock, and still was able to get the mental high ground on them. So
we do see with this next phase, it shifted eastwards. The formula, they have a long way to go. They have to cross the road. You do see Omen do have to go across the road. Top have to move across, so it's favouring heavily the side of Pittsburgh Knights, even though they are just outside the circle, so they have to push on to Purple Mood.
Careful, a few shots fired back and forth once again. I'm going to have to see what's going to happen out of here, though. Do you have the formula? It's going to snake it up, and they're going to be having the last member of RG Star Team. Xiaotian trying to snake it in, but just going to be taken down. 13th position going their way. Still a few points, but not as good as expected for the wildcard team. That's going to be Pittsburgh's Knights still holding the compound, and now they're going to have to start to move away because the compound is not quite in the circle.
I think Monarch was the sacrificial lamb for the side of Pittsburgh Knights, getting that level of vision. But we do see Zeus getting another knockdown, and Molotov is going to come out as they are really being protective of this compound.
He's defending that like an absolute beast. He's going to have the triangle for the surprise factor, but going to get instantly shut down again. That's going to be Pittsburgh Knight looking really damn good. And they will be able to take this compound for themselves. Now they did shift into the circle, which is what they were looking for, and now they can just be safe for the next few minutes and take their time.
Jagger has the moves like Jagger, one could say. Manson had to get that reference in earlier, but Top get eliminated. They are down 12th place, 11 teams left, 25 players alive. I said these teams are going to come closer together. All Rejection Gaming, XQF. The grenades are coming out. I think that's smoke grenade, as you do see side of IT. Indian Tigers dominating,
representing India right now, and they are trying to make their region proud. As you see, though, Mimo from Team Omen, they are just in the distance and trying to regen back up and deal with the blue zone. But even if he gets in the circle, you have to go through Team Indian Tigers, and I think that might be the end of him right there, unfortunately. As we do have then Top Esports on the high ground. Does that seem to have the information on the formula? Might be able to do some work here. But though XQuest F, they're going to have some few casualties on their side.
Yeah, we did see Omen Elite get taken out in 9th place, but they did get a good few kills, so hopefully that will pay off when it comes to point standings point of view, as Pittsburgh Knights, the second NA team, are still pulling out strong moments, getting knockdown after knockdown. Fireboy looking for Indian Tigers.
XQuest F, they're clapping right back, trying to pick a good fight. They won't go down that easily. Unfortunately, they are the favorites of this tournament. Indian Tigers having one member prone down. Did get knocked. Will he get flushed away? We'll have to wait and see. But there it is. That's going to be one team going to have 2 members down and just instantly taken away from the tournament in 8th position. And that is All Rejection Gaming. See you later, Japan. We'll see you next time.
I know we talked about Team Queso, right? But we haven't talked about them in this game. You know why? Because they've kept quiet. Because that's what they do. They've stayed on the edge of the line. And now, as we get into the final phases, the 6th or 7th phase, they're starting to come on fire. Jagger is on a kill streak, though. We do see him getting another knockdown as Top Esports. One member gets knocked down.
Yeah, he could have chucked that grenade over the rock, unfortunately trying to get a little bit of an extra angle. Not really working out for him. So that's going to be Top Esport having one member on the downside. And the circle, look at that shift. It's just, you have so little like space to work with and no like buildings whatsoever almost, and just so many teams and it's such a small area because it is Sandhawk. You have a lot of like trees and rocks to work with, and once again the grass just stay prone down, which is what most teams are doing. And this is when the game is going to slow down a little bit before like picking back up a pace.
2 teams that have 4 players still left alive. Team Queso, I'm not surprised, and Top Esports. Now, Top Esports have the circle, but they are split up a bit. Fireboy has knocked down one member of Indian Tigers and knocked down and fragged out Prince. So the good side for Team Queso is that they are together. The negative is that they are kind of pinched between Team 7 and Team 6.
Mm-hmm. They're going to have to be very careful about that now. The thing is, you can't shift really fast unless you use all your utility, because if you get up, every team is going to know where you are, and you're going to get shut down instantly. So this is the game where early setups are going to become really impactful. Like Team Queso, they are starting to try and get into the circle ASAP, as we do have one team going to lose another member. And Nuke's on a kill streak of 3 kills going his way, looking damn good, my friend. We're down to 3 teams. Like Indian Tigers going to be eliminated instantly. Like everything just happened in just a snap of a finger. But here it is now. Oh, there it is. Top Esport just going to get a nice angle on Team Queso. They stayed a little bit too long on the side of the circle. And they do still have one member doing pretty well, but the circle damage at this point is just way too much to deal with. Mystic going to get shut down. And that's going to be looking pretty damn good. But yes, he's just took Team Queso on his own and looking really damn good in the process. But now, be careful. He's trying to regen back up, trying to deal with the extra damage. He knows if he brushes for the circle, he's going to get instantly shut down. But here it is. XQuest still looking damn good. They have 2 members up. Paraboy going to be knocked away. Top Esports, a little bit too split, I think, but that's something that can be viable at this stage of the game.
They've made it pay off for now, but he spots him out. Coolboy is going to come out with another knockdown. That puts Top Esports down to 1 active player and 2 members being knocked down.
Yes, you took Team Queso on your own. Can you do it again, my boy? There it is. Yes, taking a lot of damage. Not going to get quite shut down, but here it is. Just a little extra damage output. That's going to be XQuest looking damn good. They are the favorite in the prelims for a reason, and that is because they clap some butts.
Okay, so Axel, I said he's the most aggressive player for Team Queso. Is he going to be able to 1v3? We're down to 2 teams, 4 players left alive. He's trying to revive. Is he playing the first aid game? He's gonna go down. That's XQF, XQuest
XQuest
coming out on top.
If there was one team that was going to take game number 1, it was going to be